And we are live. Thank you all who's watching. If anyone's watching, welcome to the
Nice,
big show. I'm
nice,
Big
nice.
Will, and I normally would be introducing Jeffrey KomiKHAN Henson right now, but his internet is down, and he isn't going to have anybody be able to come out and fix it until Monday. So that's why instead of having Jeff, you have someone else. We're going to call him the Sleeper. Introduce yourself,
The,
man.
the sleeper, yeah, that's a new one. I'll take that one. Hey, how you doing, everybody? If you don't know me, my name is JB. I'm from Discovery Bay Comics, and I host a show called "What's On Today" with Discovery Bay every morning. Kind of gives you the rundown of, what's happening on the YouTube world. And happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining me. It was a bit short notice, but I could have done this thing alone, but it's nice to have someone to bounce off of. And I had messaged JB in a comment that, hey, we're doing the big show, the time, to get on his show. And then I said, but I don't have Jeff, so I may or may not be alone. He goes, hey, if you need to stand in. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, hey,
Yeah,
I am available. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay. Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So because
Yeah,
it was
just
short
sitting here
notice
anyway.
and he had to just jump in here, I had him pick the topic. So what are we
Yes.
talking about?
Okay, well, I was watching one of your shows. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we were discussing Wolverine, and that's one of my iconic characters growing up. You know, X-Men during that Claremont run, and Wolverine. That's what I grew up in. I was a child of that era. And I had never read the story that you were referencing with regards to this book right here. I believe it's this book or this storyline, this origin storyline. And really, the reference came from, we watched the movie and we see the Sabretooth and the brother angle, and I kind of. I kind of said, man, that makes sense. Yes, okay. That I think I've read that somewhere. Maybe I have. And then in here we reference, kind of his, and I don't know if we're calling it his half brother. We'll get into that later. But if we're going to call that his half brother, and he's referenced as a different name. He's never really referenced as Sabretooth per se. He's referenced his dog. And I didn't have it, and I'm like, I got to go have it. So I went out and got this, and I read this, and this is a great read, and there's some great images in here. So, considering we're talking about the origin of Wolverine, I mean, the images that they're portraying to tell this story, this classic, iconic story, I thought it was worthy of, reviewing, because maybe not everyone's got this. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing to review. I actually don't have it. I have read it and I have had it, but I don't currently have it because it's soaked in. But yeah, the movie is what most people go by unless they're
Yeah.
into Wolverine and read it. And that can help you and that can hurt you. And in this particular case, especially since the movie was bad, especially at the end with Deadpool, notice we haven't actually named the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has a lot of misconceptions in there. And one of them being that Sabretooth is Wolverine's brother and that they grew up together. And they're also not as old as it makes them seem in the movie either.
That's true. That's true. Hey, let's take a second to kind of shout out some of the people in the chat. We got Antonio Cepeda. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Not part of your scene reviews. Love it. You know what I love about his logo is that every time he says something in a chat, I think of it with that logo going, ah. So no, I really dig that one. Barbarian Kung Fu. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. The Gray Man is in the house. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I'm the standing guest, and I was hoping that we could kind of flip through some of the pages of this kind of iconic story for this iconic character. Now, you did mention the movie that we're not going to really talk about, but when it comes to Hugh Jackman actually playing the character, I think he's done a wonderful job, playing the character, and I'm really, I don't know, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where Marvel takes it now, since he's probably not going to continue to do it. And not to get too far off topic, because the movie kind of inspired the conversation. not just that movie, of the Wolverine movies, which one was your favorite?
The last one was my favorite.
Yeah. That, with the introduction of X-23.
Oh yeah, and just the
Yeah,
acting
that was
overall, and how they did it, mostly on it's on its own really, but it ties in, but it doesn't tie in, you know. And they don't have to introduce anyone, although they do introduce a character or two. It's not one that they have to, so they're doing it because they want to, and it's for the story. And so that's why I do have that as my favorite movie, with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Although I think he looks the least like Wolverine in that movie, but his acting and the story is the best to me
yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Anyway, so getting into our book for today, our this trade on the origin of Wolverine. I don't know if everybody's read it out there in the chat, or if you're watching us on the rewind, but this is illustrated. This is I know you mentioned it's Quesada and the relevance of Quesada. Can you go into that a little bit?
You mean the relevance to the character of Wolverine for
Yeah.
Quesada?
Yes.
Well, when Quesada first was in with Marvel, uh, they sort of had him set up in kind of like another company, the Marvel Knights, when they first did the Marvel Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the late '90s, I believe, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And if you notice, one of the characters they used was Wolverine. Although I'm thinking now they did a type of Marvel Knights earlier, but they used the same name in a different form. But anyway, and one of the reasons he made sure that Wolverine was in there is because Wolverine is one of Quesada's favorite characters. If you
Quesada.
notice in the Wolverine Origins run, when he was editor in chief and whatnot, and everything, a lot of the variants are Quesada variants. A lot of people, when you view Wolverine pictures, a lot of those are Quesada that you see in the artwork and stuff. It's because he really does love Wolverine. I haven't heard him say that he is his most favorite character of all, but he does love Wolverine, and it's mainly because of Quesada that we have the Wolverine Origins book that you held up. I think it was it 5 or 6 issues?
There's, let me see how many parts there are. I believe it's 6 parts. Six parts. So it's probably it was probably a 6-issue run. Yeah.
It was a 6 issue mini then, and
Yeah.
and anyway, it's basically a Quesada work, and I'd like to thank him for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into it with part one. So in this actual scene here, that who do you think we have here when you're seeing this? I mean,
It looks to me like Dog and Rose.
right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So the story opens. The story opens actually earlier. I don't see where they never really intimate the relationship between what would be Logan's James Howlett's. I mean, how many names does the guy have? So James Howlett's biological father being this just really not nice dude. But I don't see, when I read through the story, unless I missed it, was she taken by force? Was she in love with this guy when he was a kid? Because obviously it was a different class. It was a class set where this kid's from the streets and she's from the money, and she ends up marrying somebody wealthy who James thinks is his father, and clearly it wasn't. Or was it? Or am I totally off base here?
Well, it appears as though the dog character is the son of the Logan Gardner character, but not of the rich woman that's Wolverine's mother. But yet Logan James Howlett is the son of Logan the gardener, and of course his mother that we see, who marries the rich guy.
Yeah.
So I believe it was an affair that happened, that she didn't once love him or so. It was kind of just a fair thing, 1, 2, 3 months or weeks or days or whatever, and then it was kind of over, but yet he's still there because he's the gardener.
Yeah, and this guy is just brutalizing. So this is a young dog
Yes.
to his father, who is, look at it. I mean, that's Logan basically. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see where the inspiration is coming from here. Um, and as the story proceeds, this guy has got issues. He's a drunk. But there's also some other issues, right? Is this grandfather is just maniacal. What is his story?
I think it's the typical grandfather. Aren't your grandfather, my grandfather, kind of old school, more
Mm-hmm.
harsh in their old age
You want to
compared
say
to
hi?
all the new kids?
Come on in. Hold on, everybody. I got someone who wants to say hi. So this is Madison. Say hi, Madison. Okay, you
Uh,
gotta talk into my headset. Here, say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. And Taylor, real quick, come up. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, girls. So the girls are going to be
okay.
with me when I do my live unboxings at 6 o'clock. Well, we'll see what time. It'll be fluid. We're going to see how that game goes, What's that? You hungry again? I just fed you. You had all the pancakes. You had all the toast. Come on. Give me a couple minutes. Sorry, guys. Couple minutes. I know. Go get a snack. Get a snack. Go get a squeezy. Shut the door. Sorry, guys. Okay, so yeah, this grandfather is kind of crazy maniacal, and as the story proceeds, this Logan. I mean, come on, look at this. Look at that shot of that. Are you guys getting that shot?
Right now, they're talking
Can't
about how
tell.
growing girls need food, but yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, these kids will eat you out of house and home. It's amazing. That is Logan. I mean, come on. That
Yeah.
is, and that's the dad. This is the iconic dad scene. So then he's obviously lost his mind. He's getting drunk, and he's decided he needs to go make some confrontations. And we go into the part 2, which is the inner child. So I've got some pages marked here because this is artwork that kind of represents the earliest moments of iconic, Wolverine. We're going to see the first snicked, basically, right? So
I'm
what's the
sorry.
chat? Is the chat blowing?
No, I just got
5 minutes
distracted.
later, right? Ain't that right? Yeah, these
Yeah,
kids.
I like the last
I
one.
literally,
If you have permission to
guys.
use the stove.
No, yeah. I'd say it was 9:15 to syrup and butter and toast with butter and jelly. I mean, come on. So anyway, as we proceed into this chapter, I just kind of want to skip ahead to some of the iconic scenes. This is a scene that will go down. So James Howlett is kind of a spoiled kid, right? He's coming from wealth. The gardener, who's really his dad, has another kid who's living a terrible life, and this kid's jealous. I mean, at this point, do you think that Dog knew that he was, that James Howlett was actually his brother, or does you think that reveal comes, in these coming pages because look how mean he is to this kid.
I don't think
I mean, he kills his dog. He kills his dog.
I don't think at that point he knew. I think at that point he was in love with Rose, but yet she was going to the kinder, gentler Wolverine rather than the more angry, violent dog. But the reason he's like that is not only does he have the blood of the gardener Logan, but he was also raised by it.
Be careful. Sorry.
So he
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
going
had
for
it
cereal now.
both
Let's see how this
ways,
milk pour turns
nature
out.
and nurture in the wrong way.
Okay. So we're gonna cut to the chase here. So the drunk gardener busts into the house, and he's got a shotgun, and he's decided that he's gonna, because he's also got issues. I think the drunk gardener is basically saying, hey, you should be mine. Why, with regards to Wolverine's mother. And now I got a question for you. Now that we go back to, where does the mutant ability come from? Does the mutant ability come from the dad?
That
what is Marvel now said? The mutant ability comes from dad, or does it come from mom?
In that particular story, or just in general in the continuity?
In general, in continuity, right? I think they've made reference.
I'm not sure, but I think they're treating it like the boy or girl comes from whatever chromosome the dad has. And leaves. I think they're treating it the same way, that it's from the dad for sure. But I'm not 100% on that. If the chat knows, is it the woman or the man?
I think it's been referenced in a couple of the Marvel movies. You know, remember that scene with they're sitting in the living room, and the kid that makes Iceman, he's in the living room, and I think he says it comes from dad. Anyway, not to get too distracted here. So there's a fight that breaks out, and one of the major iconic scenes is this guy who is lost his mind, basically, this Logan character, just straight up blows Logan's father's head off. And he sees it. And he's horrified.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like this, and I have this page marked because this is now the snap. The first time in, technically, and I'm not sure what his age is at this point, but he freaks out and he charges. And at first, when you first see the move, you don't see exactly what happens. All you see is that he looks down, because they don't show it. He just looks down and goes, "What the heck? What did you?" And then he notices it, and when he goes down, you get this page, which I'm sure you guys have all seen. But that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, raise it up slowly. There we go. There's them claws. Say something so it goes to you.
That's just amazing. So this is the shot. This is what we've been waiting for. The very first reveal of the claws. And he doesn't know what happened. He's just lost his mind right now. He's in complete and utter rage. But it's not over. Because now we get to the next set. The next set here, which is chapter 3 or the book 3. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This artwork's amazing too. It's telling the story. I mean, that's telling the story right there. You got, Rose, and it's just telling the story in that first page. And the one line, which is amazing, says, "I will remember that sound until the day I die." Ooh. That initial wail of, just sheer anger. So now here we go. He looks down and he says, "My hands."
Yeah, my hands. He's in shock and horror. He has no idea what's going on.
He has no idea what's going on. But now, this one that kind of turns me. His mother, I mean, she smacks him, with the "get away from me."
Yep.
Did she not know? Because we come a little bit later on here with "Mama, please." He says, "Get out of this house." She's yelling, "Get out of this house. You damned abortion. No, Mom." So he's running. And then and I was shocked kind of by this. There's 2 people dead on the floor, right? His what he thinks is his father, and this gardener who is his actual father, and the mother who's sent him out of the house. Who does she run to? Yeah. And there's a twist to the story, the reveal. And she says, "What have I done?"
Yeah. So it's kind of like the marriage to the rich guy happened. Then the true love was found in the gardener, but she never said anything and just did an affair instead.
And that when it came down to it, with 2 people down, she runs to him. It was amazing. So now he runs. He doesn't know what to do, and and uh, and I didn't see that. I've got to come back to see this. Look at the marks that he left
On Dog's face, yeah.
on Dog's face. Now, do we see those on Sabretooth as scars later at all in any version of him?
No. As far as I know, no.
So maybe this is maybe we're defuncting the tail.
I was actually going to bring that up later. I didn't know when you were going to bring it up. So
maybe when you repost this, it's going to be have we defunct it because the scars don't go away. We're going to see him later at the end, and the scars are there. So
now, if you look at it, Dog is older than James Hallett is, Wolverine. Yeah. So his manifestation would have already hit if he was a mutant. But we don't see the fangs. We don't see his claws.
Yes,
and
you're right.
That did not heal because later on in the book, you'll notice he still has the scars. It never healed. And what does Sabretooth has? He has the fangs. He has the muscles. He has the adamantium claws. And he also has the healing ability like Wolverine. So while he is the son of a father, the gardener who birthed a mutant, he himself, I don't believe, is a mutant and cannot be Sabretooth. So he's a half-brother of James Hallett, who's Wolverine, and at some point dies probably in the early 1900s, and boom, his story's over. Sabretooth is a different monster.
Okay, so now Sabretooth is about this cat that gets introduced later. This gentleman named Smitty. He seems to be quite impressive fellow, isn't he?
I like him.
I mean, do you think there is any mutant ability there?
No, there's no indication. I think he's just a nice big guy that falls in love and eventually
knows how to fight.
Huh?
That's tougher than hell and knows how to fight.
Well, he's like a logger or miner or something. So I would imagine most of the guys don't.
Okay, so now we get to this reference with this fat cook. Remember this guy?
Oh yeah.
This isn't a different character, isn't it? This isn't the Blob, right?
Oh no.
Because it's funny because they end up with this, scene later where, it's very reminiscent of that type of fight where they're, in a cage and he's got that look of, I'll show you, of that character. And Logan, before we get to that, I got to get to this scene with the wolves because maybe you can kind of explain this to me. Now, his ability is the ability to heal, right? And these claws, but is there more? Animalistic senses. There we go.
He can heal, and he has the animalistic weaponry in the claws, and that's pretty much it. Everything that he can do is based off those things.
He, what is this? Canada. This is where we head to Canada, right?
Yeah.
And he's a logger, and won't get into anything, too much of it. He's still having some anger issues. Yeah. And now he has this confrontation here.
Yeah, with the wolves.
Now this is the first time again that we've seen in the introduction of the Wolverine story this relationship with the beasts, and he starts with no stay back, and as this thing comes, we get and I think this might be the first time I see the words
snick.
Snick.
My favorite word.
Right. So we get it, and that's the eyes. This is Wolverine that we all know and love. Okay, you coming at me? Snick. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. And it's time. It's him and this black wolf or fox or whatever this thing is. It's got to be some angry thing, and you can see them staring at each other. Look at this panel. Isn't that awesome? Both of them in their eyes. What's coming? Yes, that's fine. And after the confrontation, he's down. He is down. And you have the opportunity to go either way. This guy chomps him down. No, he screams out loud, basically calling for help, I guess. And then look at the cover, which is going to tell you about what's about to happen. As he's about to go run. Well,
hold that up.
Hold it.
And hold on a second.
Because this is what's about to happen in this next book. This is where we get to see the evolution of the beast. This is the animal instincts start to evolve as he's about to run with the wolves.
Okay. Here you go.
Okay. Oh, there you go. That's a that's a print.
Yes, it is. It's a print.
And it's signed.
Signed by the artist. Framed.
Very nice.
Logan feasting with the wolves. I got a custom frame on it. Solid white.
Very nice. Hey, Guitars and Comics popped in. Thanks for joining us, guy. I loved your video. Big Will, you got to go check out Guitars and Comics if you haven't seen him shred that guitar. He's got it intervaled. It's right at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Sorry to break from our conversation, but I got excited with Guitars and Comics in the chat. Okay, so now we're running with the wolves. This is something that we've you kind of always when you're reading it, you make reference to it that he's got this animal instinct. This is the evolution of it. This is the kind of the learning of more of it. And then we have this cover, Revelation. And again, this is telling a lot because it's the kind of the mix of the two elements into one, which is what's happening with him right now. So in that chapter, he's literally running. He's barefoot. He's out there. He's hunting. He is hunting. Are you saying that? He is hunting. That is a great shot, man. He's hunting with the wolves. All right. And who does he hath upon? So now this character here, Smitty, comes back again. And he plays a role in this. And Wolverine's back, he's working. I still think this guy kind of reminds me of the Blob. We've got some he pissed him off, so he's gonna try and get revenge. He tries to kill him. But of course you can't kill Logan. Or oh, wait a minute. At what point in here there was another icon? I missed it. When he takes on this name of when he drops James and becomes Logan. When did that happen? I missed it.
They needed a name for the mining area, and Rose is the one that decided to call him Logan.
Okay, here it goes. I actually found it pretty quick. She goes, I swear I never meant to get involved. It was Mr. Logan that forced me into it. And then she uses that name later on. All right. So, this Blob guy's, he's kind of a recurring in these last couple chapters nemesis after being embarrassed, and he's trying to get his revenge in this storyline. And I love this scene right here. You know what? Here, how about if I just knock out a couple of your teeth? You see that one?
Yeah, we see it.
That's a good one.
And no, that is not the Blob, in case you were wondering.
I know,
As far
but
as I
here we
know,
go.
there's
Now,
no reference to the Wolverine origin story in any Blob story that I know of, and there's no real exhibition of Blob's power set. He just happens to be a big guy, and up to a certain point, the bigger you are, the stronger you are to someone who's smaller. So,
okay. So now we're getting to the end, and now we're coming to the part that that we started this whole series for. This potentially debunking of Sabretooth reference as the dog, potentially, that that the connection maybe not as strong as we thought. Now we remember that we had this crazy grandpa, right? Crazy, wealthy, rich grandpa. Well, really, he's lost his mind during this event because he's lost his daughter, he's lost his grandson, and he's got nothing. He's no heirs left. And whether he goes mad or not, we come to see later on as he's laying in his bed, and it looks like these are the end of days for him. That he gets visited by what he thinks, or what he calls at the end. He says, "Will you find him? Will you promise to?" Oh, no. So this is where this is the character comes in, but he is still to the very last dying breath asking, "Go find my grandson. Go find James Howlett." And this is who he's asking for help. And those are the scars. They never went away.
yeah,
So
there they are.
if this is still the dog, those scars never went away. Right? And
Yeah.
that's what he says. He says, "I promise, sir, I'll hunt him to the ends of the earth like a dog."
And that's how we know who that is, plus
And
the scars.
plus the scars on the face. So we've got, that is the connection. And since the scars didn't heal, I think we're debunking the fact that Sabretooth is Wolverine's half-brother. Because it's not this is his half-brother, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
That is his half brother.
I mean, because this guy's dad looks dead on balls like Wolverine.
Yeah.
We've established that. We've established that his dad is Wolverine in all those scenes with the cigar and the booze and it's all the look.
And James Howlett Wolverine are half brothers through their father.
And then we get to the next chapter, Dust to Dust.
Yeah.
And the continuing story of him living the lumberjack's life. And then the reason I mentioned that is because we get into some cage fighting at the end, and who do we got? It's that big guy again, and we're gonna get him in a cage match, which we kind of saw in the movie, of him in a cage in a ring with Blob, but this is not him, and of course, Blob's gonna play dirty. We can get some brass knuckles, but in the end, of course, Blob gets his butt knocked out.
And notice what
Blob,
they start chanting.
Yes, and they start the chant of Wolverine. Now, this is the first time we hear this. This is the first time that I think Wolverine is used. I think it's announced a couple pages early. Yeah, it's the boy, a Wolverine. This is, I think, the first time that it's announced right here on that panel. So if this is supposed to be the story, whoever this guy is in the background that yelled out that statement, he's famous because he started the chant that became the iconic name Wolverine, 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 and it stuck. So he beats that guy, and oddly enough, he gets a different spectator to jump in the ring with him. And who is it? Your buddy, that character that I think just has more to go. Mr. Smitty decides to get in the ring with Wolverine. And does he throw this? I mean, because it's implied that he throws the fight. It's implied at the end that Wolverine basically threw the fight. He had the upper hand on him. He's on top of him. He's got him. He's got him. And then Smitty says, you would have done right. He said, hit me. What? No. So Logan says, hit me. What? He's throwing the fight. Boom. Takes the throw. Smitty is the winner of the match. Everybody's blown away. What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened?
Yep. He definitely just I think he threw the fight there.
Looked like he took a dive.
Hey, let's take a second. And there's a bunch of new people in here. We got Sam's Tangled Web was saying hi to you. We got Soldier.
Hey Sam, how you doing?
Soldier only said he has arrived and been discovered.
Nice. He's been. I love it. And, you know what though? That kind of really ends what I had going on this book. I know you had a couple things that you really wanted to announce, and maybe we throw some topics to the chat. But that's kind of it on that book. I really appreciate you giving me a chance to go over that with you.
No problem, man. And Doomsday Comics, I think, was a newer person that we hadn't shouted out before. So hey to you. And let's see. I actually don't really have anything to announce. I was just going to ask, did anybody in the chat catch our auction with Big Lion Cat by any chance? And Soldier, what do you mean you still haven't read it? It's an awesome book. You need to read it.
Right? Doomsday, Big Lion Cat's in the house.
Well, he's actually out with the wife.
Yeah, I know how that is. Hey, thanks for stopping in and saying hello. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
hit the like on your way. Nice. So, hey, you know what? We got 10 people in the chat. I'm going to take a quick poll. Who's winning this Super Bowl? Who's winning the Super Bowl, guys? I got 10 people. Give me your votes right now.
One person hates the Pats.
More than one. Actually, you know what? I like Brady. So because he's a Bay Area kid. You know, Brady's from the Bay Area. But I'm a huge Joe fan, so.
Doomsday says Pats.
Pats, got 2 for the Pats.
Got Chelsea, Rams, another Rams.
Another Rams. What do we got, Sam?
Yeah. Jason P. Hey, welcome, Jason P. Thanks for stopping by. He says the Pats suck, but they'll win.
So that's a Pats. So there's 3. Did you get Sam's in there? Barbarian Kung Fu is going White Sox.
Hey, Barbarian's in Georgia. I'm in Alabama. We don't really care about that NFL stuff. College is where it's at for us.
College, yeah. Nice. What happened to Bama? And actually, you know what? What do you mean what happened to Bama? They're in the freaking game every year. Nothing's happened to Bama. They're there. That's amazing.
It goes to their head every now and then. That's what happens to Bama.
Now I will throw this out there. I'm not a big Patriots fan. I'm also the type of guy that says if my Bay Area team's not in, I go for the biggest underdog on the board. That's always kind of the logic in any of the sports. If my team's out of it, whatever the biggest underdog is, that's who I'm rooting for. That's normally my stance. But sometimes you got to kind of stop and appreciate some greatness, man. I'm as old as I am, and 18 years of greatness for this freaking team. This is their 9th Super Bowl in 18 years. That's incredible. We are witnessing just a run that is probably unprecedented in NFL history. And I've been rooting against it for 18 years. It's tiring. Man, ever since that tuck, which was a terrible call, but I'm not getting into that.
Well, we got other sports being in here now. The Gray Man says his team is West Ham United.
Nice.
Condiment King, huh? Greatest Condiment King.
Condiment King, nice. Mr. Garrell's in the chat. Hey, Mr. Garrell, thanks for stopping in.
All right,
and then Sam and Soldier. Great show yesterday, Soldier.
So what does your poll tell you?
My poll tells me that the Pats are going to win. Yeah.
All right. So
Anybody
hey,
get any Super Bowl polls? I did a Super Bowl poll. Do you do Super Bowl? You know those square things at work?
yeah, no.
No.
Like I said,
All
we're
right. Never
mainly
mind.
college.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. What have you got?
Well, I was just going to ask, how'd you enjoy the auction?
I had a great time. It was my first time, ever being on the seller side. I think I probably am going to stick with, the slabs. Everyone loves the slabs,
Yeah,
because the grade is there. And that's the beauty of buying the slab in an auction, because there's no question. There's no, question, especially when someone asks me what's the grade. I don't want to overvalue it and come off like a jerk when they
yeah,
get it. So I'm going to undervalue it, but that crushes the auction. I mean, I'll tell you, that Black Panther that I sent out, that's a really nice book. But I'd hate for him to be disappointed because it doesn't have that tape on it. So what are you going to give it? Once you say, oh, I can't, it's probably about a 6. What do you, that kind of kills it. So I think the slabs is the way to go, and I'll probably stick that way, or more Silver Age, earlier stuff, because when you're talking about that earlier Silver Age stuff, it's tough to get good condition anyway. So I mean, man, I just want to get my hands on it. I'll take that
yeah,
3 or 4 just to get an early 20s Avengers or early 20s X-Men. Hell yeah.
yeah.
I'll take 4.5s all day and 1 through 20 X-Men.
I I enjoyed the auction myself. This is my first time doing an auction where I'm selling stuff. But
Hey, Mr. Galvin's here.
oh, hey, Mr. Go. Hey, Robert Galvin's in here.
Yes.
Hey, nice to see you guys. And but I do have to say I did not like that we had so many people that it took 3 hours.
Yeah, too many. Too
So
many on the panel.
I don't think if I might do another auction with Big Lion Cat. I might not. I don't know. But if I do an auction, whether with him or by myself, 3 people max, and try and figure
Yeah.
out a way to make it go a little faster and smoother. Like
Yeah.
I know Big Lion Cat didn't. Did you do any kind of preview or anything? I put out a
No,
preview video about a week ahead of what I was going to be selling.
that was smart. I should have done something like that. And shit, I'm on every morning. I should have done something. I'm on every morning. It would have been easy.
Yeah,
What I did do though, which was I think kind of helped, was since we're small, you got the guy who's up is big, and then we're small. I just put the camera on my next set of books so that people had a chance to go look them up. Oh shit, he's putting Black Panther up and Avengers 87. Let me go look him up on Go Collect or whatever you use. And I thought that helped because it was, it helped the bidding because they kind of knew what the value was. And then on my last one, when I put the slabs up, I even said, hey, I'm putting up this number, and 9.8s, which took all the guesswork out of it. And I said, at $50, I'm throwing in this number, and at $75, I'm throwing in this number. So everybody knew the details of what the throw-ins were going to be.
yeah.
So maybe that'll help.
And Mr. Girl said, yeah, he stopped watching those because it takes too long. Andy's broke.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah, if you notice, there was a bunch of stuff I said I was going to sell that because of the time I couldn't. Like I had a Batman here. I had
Yeah.
some signed books. I got a whole metric butt ton of these Wolverine #1s. So I had plenty more. We just didn't have the time.
Well,
So,
you and I need to chat about one of those Wolverine #1s afterwards.
okay. But hey, which one do you want to chat about? Because I've got.
I have nice, yeah. I'd like to get my hands on one of those. It's one of the ones that's eluded me. I'm not even sure which way to go on some of those, because there were some things that I wanted to offer that I think people in our community would like. Like, I'll give you an example. I was mentioning it earlier. I overbought on things like Prodigy. And let me just look around the room. I have them. Freeze, Ogre, Road of the Dead, Murder Falcon. I mean, if people have not read any of those, I literally could have put up 1 through 4s in any of that stuff as an additional set so that someone can get into a title if they missed it. Empty Man, but I didn't. You don't have enough time. You only got 3 turns, and am I really going to put up 4 modern books that have come out in the last 4 months?
Yeah.
So,
but hey, I want to run this by you. Then I was thinking about that, and I was thinking having. Well, I don't know if I'd do it with Big Lion Cat or on my own channel or someone else's, but I was thinking having no more than 3 participants in the auction, making sure that everyone does a preview video at least 1, maybe even 2 weeks in advance of the auction.
Yep. If you're participating, that would be good. Yeah, that's
and
nice.
Then when the auction happens, you do your description of your book, what your starting bid is, what your shipping is, and then immediately a 2-minute clock is started, and whoever is the highest bidder when the clock runs out wins it. No folding or anything, just to keep it going. And that everyone should already have had a good look at the previews and all, so they've had time to think about it. And I think that would really make it move a lot faster, and I think we could get more books in and more books out.
Yeah, I like that format. I would be interested in doing that with you. I like that format. I like the preview concept. I like the fact that you got to start the clock earlier. You just start the clock already. Just start it. And if you don't, just start it. Start the damn clock already and just roll. And when it's over, it's over. And the lag's the issue, and people get used to it. Just roll. Yeah,
I mean, you could do a lag check at the start for anybody who's there at the beginning. They could just type in lag check. And I could say, I see it, and that they know.
So far, I'm getting some good feedback. Robert Galvin says that'll help. Soldier Only says that sounds like a solid plan. Doomsday wants to know when's the next auction. He also needs a Wolverine #1. Yeah, good stuff. I like that. I like that because those are some of the things that I think that hurt the whole auction thing for us. They take too long. Too many people. By the time you get back around.
Like,
and what do you think of the buy it now? We should have each maybe have a buy it now out always, or announce a buy it now early.
One thing I like that John's Comics with Kids and White Whale did a trying to figure it out kind of auction that wasn't really an auction, but it was still an auction. Did you see that?
It was that was their I bought 2 things. What are you talking about? Yeah, I got them right over here. I'll unbox them later. They were doing their test auction. Yeah, well, if they were test auctioning, I had to test bid and test win and test
buy. One
thing
they did was they had like their buy it nows, or I think John did, up, and you've constantly viewed it. And if I had my camera system set up a little differently, I think that would work, where you could always see the buy it now and the price.
Yeah.
And most of the time those would be slabs, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, and it's just off to the background, right?
Yeah, so that would do it.
Yes.
Robert Galvin says, thank you. There are a lot that do not follow the clock thinking, getting irritated. Agreed. Yes, and buy it.
Oh, man.
Yep. Because what I'm thinking is, if you on eBay in an auction, you put in your bid at the last second and you either win or you don't. There's no waiting for folds. There's no anything like that, which, I mean, even the great legend, he's awesome at it, but it's still, the last one he did last night took like 2 hours and change.
Yeah, you know what? Another thing that I was noticing that I thought it was kind of genius, and maybe you got with the people in the chat can kind of tell me, is do you really need to be there to be involved in the auction? Don't I really only need your photo of your item and what your starting bid is? And couldn't we kind of move it along? Yeah, well, yeah, like the way, exactly what he did, because that's awesome. You didn't need to have everybody there talking it up. It kind of moved it along. And by the way, I got one from this person, bing. Or have a list, or how about if we have a list of buy it nows that were submitted, and we just have those up on the side somewhere. Hey, these are the buy it nows from each of the buyers that are available, and maybe they're not even part of the auction. These are just some buy it nows that are available.
That sounds like a great idea, but it would not work if I was doing it, or if Big Lion Cat was doing it, because neither one of us know how to work or have an encoder like that. However,
I could do something like that. Yeah. But I think that's the evolution of what Legend's doing. Hopefully his continues to evolve like that, where his auctions maybe don't even have anybody live but him, you know, and everyone just kind of submits the items they want to put in his auction.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Legends auctions is he uses his encoders chat, which has a severe lag of up to like 30 seconds sometimes versus the chat that everyone has in YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But other than that, his auctions are great. Cool. They just sometimes take a while. Of course, then, you know, you get to talking and all that stuff. I mean, you're never going to have like a 30-minute auction or anything unless you have one book. So,
correct. Now, I don't know, in our auction, that offer that Chino made to the comic community, that was amazing.
For the 181,
first, my wife said, "Yeah, the 181 for $2,500 and payment plan." Who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. Who's doing that? You know,
I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I actually didn't like it because
why?
A lot of the things that came up, I jumped on Go Collect to check what the last sales were, and currently that book and that grade is sitting at $1,900. So while it probably will go up if they ever do anything, I think $600 extra
for financing is, that's $600 in financing.
Plan, you have to pay for the payment plan because he's you know, taking a risk there and you're waiting. So
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I've just never seen it before. That's the first time I've ever heard of anybody doing something like that. So I thought it was unique and no one else is offering it. Yeah. So it may be 600 more, but who's offering you a payment plan?
True. I mean, so I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying I wouldn't have had it at 25. I probably would have done like maybe 21 or 22. But then again, you know, in 6 months, the fair market value could be 23, you know, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely don't want to be going the wrong direction on it when it's all said and done. So what else what are you going to do to close out our show today? Because we're coming up on an hour.
Well, we got 8 minutes. Is there anything
what did you have planned?
Huh?
Well, you want to talk about what you got coming up next? I think everybody kind of knows what I got coming up next. If you don't, today, sometime after the game, and definitely only long enough until we get to Reggie's thing, because I don't know if you guys know, Reggie's doing a live giveaway of a New Mutants 98 first appearance of Deadpool at 7:15 tonight on his channel. Here I am just selling it up, and I want to be there for that. And then I was trying to squeeze in a huge unboxing because I got like just a crap ton load of stuff that I want to open. And so I was going to go live probably after the football game, and then only long enough until we get up to Reggie's thing. So in that window, I was going to try and be live, just kind of open up some stuff because I've got, you know, I mentioned it on the show. I've got box number 16 from The Boy Who Had 7. And Joe's my boy. Here, if you guys can see, that's my Dwight Clark, but you know, Joe's my boy over here. And so hopefully I'm going with lucky number 16 in The Boy Who Had 7's box. And that's going to be the finale kind of my unboxing. So right before you go see Reggie, you will have seen whether I got, you know, one of those key books or one of those grails. Honestly, I'm crossing my fingers for the Star Wars. I've got a little Star Wars section over here. I've got the last issue. I would love to have the first issue to go with it. I've almost bought it several times, gotten sniped on it numerous times.
Oh, crap. I've completely didn't notice. The Boy Who Had 7's in here, and Metarog joined as well. We're up to 17 people right now.
Wow. Oh, man. Yeah, look at me just ranting and raving. Hey, Matt, like I said, I'm going to go live sometime after the Super Bowl, and only up until the point that Reggie's going to go live. I'm going to do an unboxing, and your box number 16 is going to get opened, and hopefully there's something good. Now, if someone already got my Star Wars, don't tell me because I don't want to be ruined. Don't spoil it for me, you know?
And I don't have anything. I mean, my contest is still going till the 20th, and then that following Sunday, I'll pick the whoever the winner is, and they'll get a 9.0 double signed Punisher #1. Mm-hmm. And That's
Hey,
pretty much it.
you,
Yeah.
you know what? I got one other thing. I announced today at the end of my show that, hey, give me your pick in the comments, and we'll take the winning teams, the people that pick the winning team, we'll throw them in a hat tomorrow morning. We'll do a drawing for a comic book.
Put them in the
And
comments of the video you made.
yeah, put them in the comments of the video I made. And you know what? I'll even extend it to this since I'm on here. Put them in the comments of this video. And you have until midnight tonight Eastern. So that's 9 p.m. my time to put a comment in either this string during the live chat or this string during the afterwards if you're watching on the after. It's probably easier to do it after in the comments. I need it in the comments, to be honest with you. Can we come back after? I mean, if the 15 people that are in here want to get an extra entry, just come back into this after he posts it and drop it in the comments or drop it in mine this morning. And we're going to do a drawing on a comic book. And you know what? If you guys want to help me, we can pick something else. We can pick something now.
Do you mind repeating what the contest is?
Okay.
For Barbarian?
All we're doing is give me your pick in today's Super Bowl. I'm going to take all the comments of the Rams. If they win, cut them up, put them in a hat. All the comments of the Patriots. If they win, cut them up, put them in a hat. We'll have the girls pop one out, and we'll give away a comic. And if we want, you guys can help me pick out a comic now. Do you guys think, or at least point me in the right direction?
Amazing Fantasy 15.
Funny. Yes. There's a True Believers of that somewhere, isn't there? God damn. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of point me in the genre. If you guys want me to do a Silver Age, these are not going to be high grade, guys. But low grade's better than no grade. And as my boy TJ Tony Sanders says, you got to have a grade to get in the game, right?
Well,
so
you got
Doomsday Silver Age.
Doomsday says Wolverine #1, and Soldier Only says Action Comics #1.
Hey, I got a question for you. What are you looking to? What was the price you're trying to get on a Wolverine #1? Because you know what? I'll buy one from you, and we'll make it the prize.
Well,
since our show is about Wolverine, I'll buy one of those from you, and we'll make that the prize for this contest.
Well, I wasn't really 100%. I was going to do it as an auction, but if we're talking buy it now, the grade on this thing to me looks like it would be, on the safe side, I'd call it a 9.0. But if you press it, it's probably going to be a 9.8.
All right. So what do you think?
I mean, and it also, of course, has
those beautiful white pages. Beautiful white pages.
Yeah. And there's a crease on this page, so maybe a 9.6 if you press it. But at 9.8, this is like a $170 book, so I would take $40 for it.
$40?
Yeah.
Sold. That's the prize for this event, everybody. Put your comments, and now not in the live chat. I need you to come back to this video after he posts it. Drop a like on it. Drop a comment in who you're picking. Go over to mine if you want to get an extra entry from this morning's show, and that will be today's prize, this Wolverine #1, courtesy of myself and Big Will.
There you go. One last look at her.
There you go.
The reason I have so many of these is I'm specking on it a little bit, but it's also my favorite cover of my favorite character, and really my favorite cover ever.
Nice. Very nice. All right.
All right, then. Well, I guess, guys, appreciate everyone.
And we're right on time, right?
Yeah, we are right on time.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I got to go feed these kids again because they're always hungry, right? And I will catch everybody after the Super Bowl if you want to catch me on the live. That'd be great.
So real quick, I'll go over. Super Bowl pick for the winner. Leave it in a comment of his morning show video or a comment in this video when it uploads. And you will, if you pick the winner, you will get a chance for a drawing to win the Wolverine #1 that he just bought from me. And
the cutoff is tonight at 9 p.m.
And that's 9 p.m. Pacific.
No, wait a minute. The cutoff obviously is before the game starts. Duh! The cutoff is before the game starts. Oh no, the cutoff is before the game starts. Stupid.
Well,
All right. So at kickoff, I'm going to go in and collect the comments. At kickoff, I'm collecting the comments, everybody. At kickoff.
all right. Well, I guess we better get out of here, everybody, then. So, chat, thanks for stopping by. JB.
Hey, don't forget. Don't forget. We had a good time.
Yeah. See you guys.